Hello friends, welcome to your only channel Times of Coding. Today in our series Scala Express, we will learn control structure. Control structure session will help you to understand how to control your business logic use cases while programming. Just a quick recap of our previous session. We have covered class precondition, constructor, primary and auxiliary. We have seen how to define operators. We have seen how to do method overloading, and we have done implicit conversions. Now in this session, we will see how to use control structures. We will start defining if statements. First, I'm defining one variable called session name. Here I'm giving some value, Scala control structure. And then we are having if condition. We are checking session name is empty, not. So that means this session name should not be empty, which is not. So in that case, Scala will execute this statement and it will add our predefined value into welcome to TOC. So now out of this println statement, we should get welcome to TOC Scala control structure. And after execution, Scala giving us the same expected value. Since in Scala, in every statement functions, that's actually return a values. So we can write above code as, I'm defining the same session name again. Here I'm defining another variable called greetful, and above if statement, I'm keeping inside with this variable statement. Now this full if condition will goes inside the variable definition of like this statement, and then we will print greetful variable. After execution, Scala save this welcome to TOC Scala control structure string value in greetful variable, and now it has printed successfully, which we have expected. We can further concise this code. If you see here, we don't actually need this greetful variable. So I'm writing here println, and inside the println statement only I'm keeping our if condition. So if you see, Scala executes this statement as expected. This was probably the most shortest example I have given you here, but in actual coding, you need to understand the difference between variable and val, which we have discussed earlier also. So here, if you see, there is one important change we were doing. If you see here, we were declaring this variable as val. So that means immutable. You can think maybe you are making some code changes and your existing code size is almost 100 MB of files. And then in that case, if you write your variable as var, perform this logic more than one number of times, then you should probably go ahead with this second logic of implementation. While doing the Scala coding, we should always challenge the var. So we should always think the way if we can change this var to val. The advantage you will get out of declaring val, that you don't need to debug inside your code to just check if this value getting changed anywhere. It is actually saves your lots of efforts in debugging if your Scala code has been appropriately defined with var and val. Second control structure which we are going to discuss today from our definition method, the while loop. So here we are defining one method, print numbers. It will simply print the numbers and it will increment the number always. This will not return any value. So I have kept unit type, and then I'm defining one var literal int type, and I'm defining 0 first, and then I'm defining while loop num. It will be same as we were expecting as a parameter from this print num function, and then it should check num should be greater than literal, which we have defined earlier as 0, and then literal plus is equal to 1. This statement will be equivalent to lit is equal to lit plus 1, and then we are printing literal value. So this was our while loop. Now we will see do while loop. Scala does provide do while loop. In fact, our definition is going to be same. It just the syntax I have changed from while to do while. So in while, first we check the condition and then we go inside the while body. But in do while, first we go inside the body and then we check the condition. So here also I'm keeping the same logic. And if you see here, we are defining do and we are starting curly braces, and then we are having lit plus is equal to 1 as earlier we have defined the same. So here we are printing lit and I'm having a condition called while num greater than literal. So if you see in Scala, we have got unit, which is actually equivalent to void in Java in certain way. But unlike Java, we can define this unit and we can in fact do the equality check with empty braces. Now we will see how. So if you see this example, I'm defining one function called def greet empty braces, and then I'm defining the return type of this function will be unit and println welcome to TOC. Now we can run equality check with this empty braces. If you see here, greet empty braces, and this empty braces will denote unit for us. When we do the equality check, it will give us true, which was expected value. Now moving on to our control structure session. Now we will see the best choice in Scala, which is our for loop. For loop is the best choice when you wanted to iterate through your collection. So now we will see here we are having one collection list. This list will be having some elements inside, and this element inside we are going through element left arrow collection list, and then we are printing one after another all the elements. You can refer my 4th number of video if you're not clear with the for loop, how it works. Moving on, I have given few more example here, which is for I left arrow 1 to 5. So it will actually get you through the range from 1 to 5. Now in iteration we are printing println I, that means it will always print current value of I, and then we are having hyphen iteration. Similarly, we can use until also. They both will be having similar logic, and it will also get us the exact same result. Now next thing in our controller structure topic, we will see how we can keep the filter condition in this for loop. So moving on, I have defined one for loop which is exact similar in the second way, which we have seen earlier, and now I am keeping one filter condition called if I mod 2 is equal to 0. That means it will go through 1 to 5 and it will pick all the elements 2 and 4 we will get out of this statement, and then we are printing the same. So here it should be having 2 iteration, 4 iteration. Now if you see above example, we have kept this filter condition in separate statement, but we can actually club together with for itself. So if you see here, I'm defining for, I have opened the bracket and then I've given the same condition, and then inside the for only we are in second line we are defining if condition, which is exactly same which we have done earlier. So in this way also you can define your for logic with filter condition inside. And when you execute this logic, Scala will get you this outcome which is as expected. In fact, you can try multiple filter conditions if you want. So here I'm giving another condition called I should be greater than 2. So now it will get us 4 iteration as expected. In fact, Scala allowed us to do the nesting also. So now we will see how to do nesting. Here I'm defining one method called grep, and inside the grep method I'm defining two conditions called for element collection list, and in this iteration we will have element here which will be coming from some list of collection, and then elements.length if this element which we are getting here out of list length is greater than 2. So in this iteration we will have this string value called element. So we will have an iteration from string to word now. If the iterative words is greater than is equal to f, then it will get us the element, that means the element name and the word name. So now we will see how we can get the outcome out of this definition. We just need to call grep and it will get us this outcome which is welcome. Welcome was this string. Actually, it is the element which I was talking earlier here. Since L comes after F, so it will be here L and then O and then M. So these three characters we are getting out of welcome string, and then we are getting O again from TOC string. So collection list was actually having the value called welcome to TOC. So since 2 was not matching this condition, that's why it got skipped. And then we have got welcome TOC only. So in this welcome and TOC, this method called grep help us to pick these many characters. So far we have seen how to iterate over the collection, how to keep the filter condition, but Scala does not limit this usage only. In fact, we can generate another collection from the for loop. Now we will see how. So here I am keeping similar fashion produce collection method, and this method will return list type of string comma character. So element in this list will have string comma character type of tuples inside. So now we are having for loop. Inside the for loop we are having collection list which will iterate over through this similar pattern. So we will have element here, then we are keeping one filter condition if element dot length greater than is equal to, then we are having words which will actually go from string to character now, and we are keeping the same condition which we have seen earlier, word should be greater than is equal to f. Now we will have the similar kind of output which we have already seen earlier. Now here we are not printing anything, we are doing the yield. So yield will actually create one list, and inside the list it will save this tuple. So here element and here words. So likewise we can print through this statement also, and after execution Scala will get us this outcome as expected. So here we are having similar outcome, but instead of printing in single line, we have clubbed all together in a list as a tuple. In fact, if we want, we can enrich the values of this collection which we are creating in yield statement. So now we will see every logic is same I have kept, but inside the yield I have done some enrichment. So here previously we were having element which was coming as welcome and TOC. Now I'm adding one prefix called word hyphen. So element and then word hyphen L, O, M and O should come. Now we will see the outcome here. It is coming as we expected. Now apart from this, I have done one more operation here which is to uppercase. Because of this it got converted into capital letters here. So if you see, first we are seeing word L, then word O, word M and word O again, and everything is in capital letter. So far in theory we have covered controller structure. Now it's time to do some practical. So moving on, first we need to come on IntelliJ, then we need to create one more package, control structure. In this control structure we will go inside and look for Scala worksheet. Here we will type example. Now the very first thing which we have seen today is how to create our session variable and apply some if condition in it. So now we will run Now this statement will get us outcome as welcome to TOC Scala control structure. Now we will see how. So what we have done first, we have defined one variable and we have kept this value inside it, and then we have applied one filter condition here, which should be session should not be empty as per this statement if condition check, and then we are doing concatenation between welcome to TOC hyphen Scala control structure. So as we are getting here, it was expected. Now second way of writing similar code is we are defining one greet variable, and this variable is val type, and here we are keeping this if condition in one statement only, and then we are printing this greetful variable. Now we will see what is the outcome. So now as we expected, it is giving us similar outcome. Now I will make this logic more concise and I will keep this if statement inside the full, and I will remove this variable. Now I will execute. Okay, and it was giving us expected outcome as welcome to TOC Scala control structure. So if you see, I have removed intermediate variable which was actually not expected. If that logic you need to access more than one time, then it's recommended you should keep that logic inside one variable. And if you are not reassigning the value, the best case is to have val type of variable. If you are reassigning the value, then you know what options you have in hand. So here I'm defining one function, and this function is taking one parameter called num. It is returning unit type. And then we are having one more variable called var type literal, and this literal is type of int. I'm assigning 0 for initial. This function as name signify print num, so it will print the numbers till what the number we are calling here, and then while loop. So here number greater than literal, and then literal plus is equal to 1. This statement is equivalent to lit is equal to lit plus 1, and then we are having print. So in print we are writing literal value. Now we will call this function inside the main if we are writing this function from the object, but here we are not writing from the object, so I will simply remove this main and I will execute. Yeah, so as we expected, since we are passing 10 here and we are calling print num, it will print us the 1 to 10 values. In this example we have seen how while loop works and how we define inside the function. Now it's time to see how do while loop work. So here I have kept the same logic, it's just the syntax of while to do while I have changed. So previously we were first checking the condition as per while logic, but now first we need to write do and we need to open curly braces, and then after performing the logic we will check the condition. So now I will call the same function again. I'll make this change here. Okay. So as we expected, we have got 1 to 10 value out of this function, and now it is type of do while loop. Now if you see, return type of our method was unit. So this example I have written to give you a more understanding about the unit type. Unlike Java, in Scala unit type we can even have the equality check, and how we can perform that now we will see. So here I'm writing greet, which is actually writing us the unit type, and then this unit type equality check I will do the empty braces and it should get us the true as I have explained you earlier. So here if you see, it is giving us exact same true. So that means in Scala, in fact the return type unit is having some significance, and that significance we can in fact check in equality check as well with this empty braces. Now as per our content, we will first define some collection list, and in this list we will define welcome to TOC as I was telling you earlier, and in this for loop now we will use for loop. Previously we have already seen while and do while. So this for loop will iterate through all the elements of this list and we will print these elements now. Okay, so we have got exact expected value. In every line we have got 1 string value here. Now we will see how we can write the same for loop in different way. So here I'm defining I, and this I will go through from 1 to 5 value, and then we will print I plus hyphen iteration. So this I should technically get us 1 and then iteration, 2 and then iteration, and likewise. So here if you see, yeah, 5 times it is iterating over. Now if in case you wanted to iterate through this collection item, you just need to make a change here as collection list, and then we will see now. So if you see, welcome iteration 2 and TOC as expected. Now in this statement we have seen how to works. Now we will see until. So until also one of the keyword which Scala gives, and here if you execute, it will also get you the similar outcome. Now we will add some filter condition in this for loop. So first I'm defining for, which will simply iterate through 1 to 5 as we have seen earlier, and now it will check if I mod 2 is equal to 0. So that means among 5 it will get us 2 and 4, and with this logic also we will add multiple filter condition. So here we are checking again I should be greater than 2. So now it should get us the 4. Okay, so it is giving us the 4th iteration as expected. Now it's time to write conditions with some nested operations. So here I'm defining again collection list, which is having same elements called welcome to TOC, and I'm defining one function called grep, will return the value called unit type, and here I'm defining for loop. In this for loop everything will go inside. So here we are having iteration, we are having condition, then we are having second iteration, then we are having second condition, and then we are printing the elements. So now we will go through the logic. So first we are iterating through the collection, which is string value, then we are applying some condition on it. That means element.length should be greater than 2. After this we are applying some logic on this element. So now this will behave as a collection element for us, and a string value, that means every character will go one after another in this word character. After doing this iteration we are doing one filter condition here. So f words which we are passing from this iterative loop, it should be greater than f value. So now it has got all the alphabets which comes after f. Now we will execute and see what is the value it can get us. Okay, since it is a function we need to call it, and this is how we will simply define the caller function. Now if you see the outcome here, it is giving us welcome LOMO. As per these condition, this is the expected value. Now what we have done here is we have printed the value, but this is not the only operation which we can perform with the for loop. We can yield, in fact. So in this yielding, it will create one collection set for us, and this collection set we will define like this. So technically this grep function we will have produce collection. Now we will convert into produce collection, and this collection will get us list, and this list will be having tuples, and these tuples will be having type of string and character. So okay, L should be capital. Yeah, so now we will run and we will see what we get out of it. Okay, so as I was explaining you earlier, it is getting us list, and this list is having exact replication of our outcome which we have seen earlier. Welcome L, welcome O, welcome M, and TOC O. So now in fact we will do some enrichment in it, and we will see the outcome now. So here if you see, I'm adding one string, and since we are doing concatenation, this character will become a string now. So I'll change the type. We will do method with the word we need to keep in all string values. So here we will make a small change. Here if you see, we have created list successfully, which is having welcome as a string value and word -L. So that's how we enrich in fact the yield value out of the for loop. So now we have understood how control structures work in Scala. I hope you like the video. You can get my new video notification if you subscribe my channel, so please subscribe it. And beside to that subscribe option, you will get one bell icon, so please press it. Then only you will get all the notification. Thank you. Have a good day.